I think we're up and running at last. So I've had some fun and games setting up this stream. So I'm actually repeating a flight I did last night. Had a problem with the video. I unintentionally showed some content that I shouldn't have shown from Say Intentions. So full apologies to Say Intentions for that. We're going to repeat the flight and hopefully get better weather today. Although it's still looking pretty horrendous in certain directions around Dallas. I've wound the clock back to get us some decent daylight so you actually get to see Dallas. So we're going to go and take off from the executive airport just southwest of Dallas. I'll show you on the map where we are. So we are over here. Let's just turn off the AI aircraft from the simulator. So we're just south of the city, or southwest of the city. We're going to fly into the city, then fly over to Fort Worth and maybe come back down towards Arlington, or just have an explore around. So, excuse me, I've still got a bit of a cough, had it last night. I'm just checking around, make sure the airplane is good. We've got rid of the pitot covers, so jump inside and straighten up the view. So we want rich mixture, we want full prop, turn the battery and the alternator on, fuel selectors to both, cowl flaps are open, and turn the engine over. Okay. Turn the avionics on. We're not going to need to use really the avionics today. We can just use a LittleNavMap. So this is not a navigation exercise. We can go and put the radio on though. Sorry, the transponder on. So this is me spending my lunchtime taking you to Dallas for an explore around. It should be good fun. We've got some questions in the live stream. So being asked, how does 2024 perform now? I've heard a lot of people online say it's still quite glitchy, but it generally seems quite stable for you. Yeah, it depends what you're doing with it. Just switching on the GPSs. Depends what you're doing with it. I've not had too many problems, but then I don't run it with too many add-ons. And I think that's a lot of the problems people are getting, are they're trying to run the bleeding edge cases with everything. So, you know, the most complex airliners with the most complex airports and the most complex add-ons integrated in. Or they'll pick out a particular detail of something and complain that the whole thing is rubbish because one tiny corner of something has got a fault in it. Where I tend to be much more of an optimist, and I'll just get on with what I can, typically. Okay, let's go and taxi out towards the runway here. So the GPSs have come up. I don't think we have a clock. Oh, we do have a clock. So I've put the time to 10 to 2 in the afternoon. I'm not sure if that's showing UTC or local time though. I'll check the weather conditions in a moment to see what we're actually dealing with. Because Flight Sim 2024 has this crafty trick where you can manipulate the weather to as it was at a given time instead of using a preset. And that's what I've done. I've rewound the clock to probably as it was 2 o'clock yesterday. Now we saw yesterday it was horrific. So this is probably what I'm still seeing. So let's just pull the aeroplane to a halt for a moment and have a look at what I've chosen. Yeah, look, I've got Wednesday's time. So at 9 o'clock yesterday morning, it was horrific. If I take it through to the afternoon, you'll see the clouds update probably. And there it goes, look, the afternoon was better. So we'll go with the afternoon, yes? So that's one of the really nice tricks that 2024 has got, is it caches the weather throughout the day worldwide. So you can rewind to a time when it wasn't so bad. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just straightening my view up. And then put it back on again. And straighten myself up in the cockpit. Okay, let's get going. We're going to have a look around Dallas. With hopefully not too bad a weather. This is before it got horrific again. Although we now have a crosswind to deal with. So the tail was being thrown sideways there. So coming up to 50 knots, 60 knots, gently rotate. And wait. Crabbing slightly into the wind. You can see the aeroplane angle there against the runway. It's not too bad. Oh, that's on me. I didn't have the landing lights on for takeoff. It's a bit late now. But you can see the photogrammetry is stunning now around this whole area, and they've done it for miles. So, you know, the whole wider Dallas area has photogrammetry. Towns, villages, everywhere. So we're going to turn right. I'm going to turn out towards Dallas. And hopefully the weather's going to be kind to us while we are in the air. You can see there is rain falling all around. We should see some rainbows. There's a wall of rain, look, across the horizon over there to the east, northeast. Yeah, so I just want to reiterate a huge apology to Say Intentions for showing a feature that they've entrusted me to have a look at, but I shouldn't have shared it with the community just yet. It's coming soon, it's going to be fantastic, and they've got several press releases about it. So if you go and look at sayintentions.ai on the internet, you can read all about what they've got coming. Just in terms of what they already have, they are already knocking it out of the park. Their artificially intelligent air traffic controllers functionality is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And you can see the stepping stones they're making in terms of not just responding to your intentions, but also enforcing rules upon you and watching your progress, and and contacting you if you are not at the expected point in the sky where they were expecting you to be. Okay, let's come back off the power a bit. So, downtown Dallas, with the rain falling in the distance. So, Arcane is saying, wasn't this streamed last night? No, I flew around Dallas last night. I'm doing it again. I've pulled the video because I unintentionally showed some preview functionality of something that Say Intentions are working on, and they reached out to me this morning, and I'd completely forgotten that it wasn't supposed to be seen just yet. So I've pulled the video and I'm revisiting Dallas, but it also gives us the opportunity though to see Dallas in better weather, because we saw it in horrific weather last night, and you can see obviously in the sunshine it's a different place. Look at the traffic. I say that and the traffic disappeared as we flew over. It's a different place in the sunshine, isn't it? I guess all cities are. But the photogrammetry is very good, isn't it? I always think it's a bit of a magic trick, photogrammetry. I remember years ago Microsoft had a demonstration of a technology called photosynth, which was the same thing essentially. It was taking photographs from different vantage points, and the computer was mashing them together and figuring out the 3D structures it was seeing in the photos. I guess if you combine that with LiDAR maybe, you could go even further than that. But just the interpolation of figuring out what's in the image from different viewpoints, and therefore being able to resolve the 3D structures, I think is an amazing ability. We're just going to circle the city here a couple of times, and then we're going to zoom off towards some of the airports and have a look around. It's stunning though, isn't it? It's very, very clever. And as I said at the beginning, the photogrammetry area isn't just the city, it extends for miles in all directions. So all the suburban neighbourhoods, it just carries on and on and on. So you can fly along the freeways, and all the various, the major towns along the freeways are modelled. They're getting rained on over there, by the look of it. Okay, let's go and have a look around one of the airports then. So, if we have a look, no, I didn't want to see that, I want to see LittleNavMap. Wrong key combination. We're off towards Love Field. So we'll circle Love Field, and then we'll go over towards Dallas-Fort Worth International. Then we'll actually go over to the city of Fort Worth and have a look there as well. On the way, we'll try to go past, there's a stadium at Arlington, so if we come south out of Fort Worth International, we should see Arlington as well. Yeah, as I said, look, it extends everywhere. This level of detail, it's stunning. You can see how people mistake the flight simulator for real film, can't you? It is getting that good. All we're missing now is people walking along the sidewalks. Okay, so this is Love Field. I think this is a stock airport, so it's just using AI generated buildings. It's not got curated buildings and taxiways, so it's going to be therefore much more simple than you might normally see. But obviously Fort Worth International has been modelled. So we're seeing the stock flight simulator AI aircraft on the ground today. So, having left here, we're going to fly west over to Fort Worth International and have a look. We could turn the name plates on, I guess. Control-Alt-N, and you'll obviously see clusters of logos. So these are all animated AI aircraft, or for the most part. I've got multiplayer on, so we might see the odd multiplayer. You can see someone's just taken off over there, but they don't have a nameplate, bizarrely. So let's carry on. If we increase the range on the GPS, we can see Fort Worth over there, look. So it'll take a few minutes to get there. It's crazy, isn't it? It really is. The amount of traffic on the freeway. Okay, look at the size of Fort Worth as well. Absolutely humongous airport. There's a big old radio mast here behind us. Suburbia. Row upon row of homes. It's got swimming pools there. Quite a few of them. So obviously we have no ATC today, otherwise we wouldn't be allowed anywhere near this airport. I saw a fascinating YouTube video the other day. Somebody went to visit, or they stopped at LaGuardia in a Cessna. And the total bill, they stopped for about 15 minutes and got some fuel and then carried on their way. And the total bill for that was significant. It was in the, you know, the $500–600 range. So, you know, the various costs involved in doing that. What's going on with this one? Simulator's going really stuttery for some reason. It may be the weather. So if we put the nameplates back on, we can see what various aircraft are that are manoeuvring around. We'll be kind and stay away from the perimeter as we circle the airfield. But then we'll fly straight over the top of the terminals to have a look and be nosy. Look at the queue for takeoff, oh my word. That's not unusual, by the way. I've been at Heathrow and been in a queue at least that long. You would think they would operate both runways, wouldn't you? And have some alternate planes crossing over. I guess it depends what's coming in. There's a queue the same the other side, look. Oh my word. Planes patiently waiting to depart. In fact, they're double stacking them over this side, look. Okay, let's come in over the terminals. So we've got the roads in and out of the airport. It's an interesting layout, isn't it? So the roads carry on all the way through the airport. And then you've got these semicircular terminals with all the gates hanging off of them. It's an interesting design. And the various looping roads, look, with the off-ramps and the on-ramps. Very cool. So I'm presuming this is a monorail or something around the outside of the terminals that will deliver you to each terminal quickly. I'm guessing that just by having visited various airports that have got something similar. So I'm also wondering what this is. Well, I don't think it is a VOR. It looks like it's got solar panels on it. And this is a really badly modelled one. Okay, so next stop, I thought it might be nice to go and have a look at the football ground. So it's AT&T Stadium, isn't it? So we're going almost the right direction already. So we look out ahead of us. I think that's it. It's quite an easy landmark to spot. So we're going to fly out towards there, and there's Fort Worth over there, by the way. So we'll fly out towards the AT&T Stadium, and then we'll go over to Fort Worth, and then we'll go back to Arlington to land, I guess. So just looking across back to Dallas. It's incredible, isn't it, the simulator? The weather modelling in 2024 has just turned it up to 11. We should have gone and closed the cow flaps, by the way. So we're just going to go and circle AT&T Stadium, because I know people last night when I did the flight were interested in taking a look at it. So I imagine people still are. Look at these houses. It's like suburbia, isn't it? Gone mad. All the roof designs. Sorry, I used to work for a manufacturing and construction company, so bizarre things like roof designs always interest me. I apologise for that one. Shafts of light coming down in between the rain showers. Very cool, isn't it? Somebody in the live stream is saying maybe the top of the stadium will open today. I don't think it's animated. It'd be really cool if it did though, wouldn't it? So we saw it yesterday in driving rain and noticed that the roof was shut. Wouldn't it be cool though if it did open on a sunny day, so you could see into the stadium? I've not seen that done in the simulator yet, but I guess never say never. Looks a bit more inviting in the sunshine though, doesn't it, compared to last night? It is incredible, isn't it? The level of detail. Obviously this is a bespoke 3D object that's been dropped into the photogrammetry, but the photogrammetry is becoming so good it doesn't stand out as much as it used to. It's very clever. So it's integrated into the scenery wonderfully. Okay, let's carry on then to Fort Worth. We're going west. Yes, that's going to be Fort Worth out in front of us. So let's get the autopilot on. We're at 1,500 feet, which is just about perfect. I'll turn the head tracking off for a moment so I can manipulate the various knobs in the cockpit without the mouse flying all over the place and changing the view. So we're just putting heading mode on. And altitude, we want 1,500, don't we? Which is we're thereabouts anyway. That's very good. Cool. So we can now relax a little bit and let the airplane run itself. So let's go and turn the taxi light off. And I've been looking at that for the last few minutes thinking I really need to do that. I just find it fascinating to look at the scenery. So we're just following the main road across. So this is Route 30 towards Fort Worth. Could probably descend and read the road signs. That's cheating, isn't it? Navigating by road signs. How are we doing with the engine? Oh, we could probably push it on a bit, couldn't we? So Lee is saying about my head tracking being more organic. So the trick being, I'm going to press Shift and Space. I'm using a Tobii Eye Tracker. So I'm going to press Alt and 7. That's the key I've got mapped to turn it on and off. Okay, so notice I'm quite low. If I slouch down in my chair and then press Alt and 8, that makes me reset the position. So in other words, the Tobii sensor takes another look at me to figure out where I'm looking and expects me to be looking forwards. Yeah, so when I press Alt and 8, I can do it repeatedly. When I then sit up, I obviously get the vertical positioning and I can sit forward. So it's just down to having those couple of keys and using them intelligently, I think. Shift and Space will obviously reset any view you've configured, or any movement you have imparted on yourself with the mouse. So it will sit me facing forwards again if I press Shift and Space. So using that with the various buttons for the Tobii makes it fairly straightforward. So I just use Alt 7 to switch it on and off and Alt 8 to reset the position. So we need to turn a bit. another great big radio mast coming up. Yeah, I just can't get over how good this photogrammetry is. Look, and this is miles away from Dallas now. So it seems to be the entire metro area is covered. And this is much better weather than we had last night. So this was absolutely worth re-recording. Time. Got about another 20 minutes until I have to go back to work. Just about enough time to look around Fort Worth. So let's come off the autopilot. I can never remember. Yeah, I haven't got the button mapped on my stick to cancel the autopilot. I should map it really. There's some crazy road junctions here, aren't there? Some of them aren't particularly wonderfully textured. I'm guessing it kind of blew the mind of the algorithm that's used to do the photogrammetry, because you can see here, look, the textures are completely muddled up. The structures are correct. It's a shame. Anyway, let's circle downtown Fort Worth. This church down here is modelled really lovely, isn't it? Should we do this from outside so you get a bit wider view? And it's a bit brighter as well. It's another really nicely modelled church down here, look. Okay, we need to find somewhere to land then. So I was thinking of going back over towards Arlington. So that will take us over the top of Lake Arlington, which will be quite cool. So we'll continue this turn. Let's go and jump inside, and then we can See the tops of the buildings close up as we come past. That junction's mad, isn't it? Okay, so still turning gently. Can we just follow the road down to Arlington? We probably can. Look, follow 287. Then is that 820? Yeah. And then 20 takes us over to Arlington. So we could do that. It's cheating, really, isn't it? Following the roads. We should be doing radio navigation or GPS navigation. We could do a direct to, couldn't we, to KGKY. See if I can remember how to do it. Oh, they haven't allowed us to use the keyboard. Go, there's our track. So this is Lake Arlington that we're about to cross over. And down below us is suburbia. In immense detail, so all of it photogrammetry. Crazy, isn't it? You see the various advertising hoardings as well on the road. So, with the weather being nice again today, can we actually see Dallas out in the distance? Not quite, it's in that rain now, isn't it? The rain has arrived. Or is that it in the far distance, maybe? Surely we didn't go that far. Let's have a quick look on the map. No. That's going to be going that way. What would be out here? That would have tall buildings. It's, I don't know, difficult to tell. There's certainly something out there, though. Perhaps if we zoom in. Can't quite see it. It's a city centre, certainly. So somewhere over here in that range. Could be here, I guess. Midlothian. We've started turning again, haven't we? Got no autopilot on, so I'm just tootling along and the wind keeps catching us. So with the track on, we can get the numbers up on the radio and it'll tell us we got about just under 4 minutes to go. 7 miles away from Arlington. So there's the lake. It's a shame the simulator hasn't got pleasure boats, isn't it? It would be really good if it did. Okay, you can see the airfield coming. I think that's it anyway. If we go and have a look, yeah. So heading straight for it. And there's this, whoops, there's this big blank patch in the trees. And as we saw, the road goes straight past it. So which way is the weather? Which would be a good approach direction? Okay, we're coming in from the north, runway 16. So if we do an overhead join, what we'll do is climb up to 2,000 feet. We're already over 2,000, so we'll hold 2,500. We'll fly overhead. What's the airfield elevation actually? Let's go and find out. Overview. 600 feet. Yeah, so 2,500 feet is perfect for that, or 2,600 would be even better. So we are 2,000 feet over the ground at the moment, which is good. So we're 1,000 feet above pattern altitude, which would be 1,000 feet above ground level. So what we'll do is fly directly over the top of the airport and then do a descending left turn onto the reciprocal for runway 16 and then to left pattern. So we'll be looking to lose 1,000 feet once we turn into the pattern and then drop onto the pattern. I know the US way would be to fly all the way around the airport and come in at 45 degrees to the pattern. We're going to come in overhead. Okay, so we've flown overhead the airfield. So I'm going to pull the power back. Start this left turn. So if you look at what we're doing here, we're turning left. We want to end up about 340 degrees and at about 1,600 feet. About another 90 degrees to go. You can see there's Dallas out in the distance. So we're down to 2,000 feet, we've got to drop another 400 feet. About 30 or 40 degrees to go. So there's 340 degrees, and we're just coming down to 1,600. So we're now 1,000 feet above the floor. And if we look out, we should see we're reciprocal to the runway. So then we just are going to, obviously we're not using ATC today, but we're going to turn back in. So we're looking for the apron to be over our left shoulder, basically, about 45 degrees behind us. And we can start to descend in the turn again, so we're looking for another 500 feet lost, so about 1,100 feet by the time we make it around. Also, we can start preparing for landing, so cowl flaps open, landing lights on. high. Just straighten up and get the aeroplane stable. Get the flaps ready. Being a little bit high isn't such a bad thing though with this tree line, because we're going to hit turbulence when we get near it if there's much wind hitting it. So you can see we're crabbing slightly to the left. So the wind is coming from the left. Yeah, that wind's getting up. Look at you can see the windsock. This aeroplane is fighting the wind. It's actually really strong wind across the airfield. So what we have to do is either hold it at a crab angle like this and then drop it and turn the nose as we lose lift. Which we'll try and do that, okay? So you hold it off and then just, yeah, it was so gentle coming down, it wasn't such a marked drop. But the idea is you straighten the aeroplane up as you lose lift. Didn't quite make it for the taxiway there. So flaps back up. Looking for the next off-ramp, which I think is just coming. Or off-ramp taxiway intersection. It's a real mixture of things in today. Should we go and park over here next to this lonely little, what is it, a jabberoo or something? So now we're off the runway, the landing lights can come off. I think it's just a 152 or something like that, isn't it? There's obviously a crop sprayer plane next to it. Let's go and park in between them. I know there's not a line here, but okay. And we're cold and dark. So that was a fun one. Oh look, the F-18 is on its way out. I wonder if that's an AI plane. Yeah, it is. Very cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. That was a little bit of a look around the new Dallas, or the revamped Dallas scenery. So we had a quick fly around Dallas. We went over and had a look at Fort Worth and Love Field. We then went over to Fort Worth itself, and then came down to Arlington Municipal to land. So yeah, really great scenery upgrade from Asobo there. Over the next couple of days, I'll be visiting, probably this evening, I'll be visiting Denver, and then we'll go and look at the San Francisco Bay with a bit of a longer flight, because obviously there's so much more to look at in San Francisco. So I'll see you all again soon. I have to get on with my work now. I've got 5 minutes to go make a coffee. See you soon. Take care.